Hello and welcome to the Jayco 284 BHS. Starting right up front, we have a light, just in case you need to hook up at night. You have your retract and extend for your power tongue jack. If the electricity ever goes out of your power tongue jack, just go ahead, peel this little tab up and insert a tool, and then you can manually override it to then move this up or down. Coming to your propane tanks, you have two, and you can choose between the two which ones you want to read from. So this says supply and then an arrow. So this arrow is pointing towards this one. Flip it over the other way, arrow's pointing towards this one. So that's just whatever tank it's taking the propane from. Moving on to the back side of your camper. Starting up here, you have the black tank flush, which when you put a pressurized hose into, it acts as a sprinkler inside of the black tank, which helps remove any toilet paper that may have gotten stuck or anything else. Outside the shower, you have a hot and cold turn along with the shower head right down here. It's all wrapped up. Moving to the city water connection, pop this open. This is when you go to a campground, you go ahead and plug your campground hose into here. You are going to need a water pressure regulator. It helps regulate the pressure, so if there's too much, it'll dumb down the pressure so it won't blow your lines. And then if there's too little, it'll kind of regulate it to help it keep a steady and even flow inside of your camper. You have your low point drains, hot and cold side. Coming down to your sewer system, you have the gray tank pole and the black tank pole. Once again, your black tank is going to be your toilet, and then the gray tank is going to be any shower or sink and whatnot. I do recommend doing the black tank first, just because it's the dirtiest water out of these two. So black tank flush, and then go ahead and finish with the gray tank, because this gives it one last rinse of water before you go ahead and put your hands back on there. Cable TV satellite input. Camp power or shore power here. Just up top you have a backup camera prep, so if you do decide to purchase a backup camera, there's 4 little screws. Go ahead, pop that off, insert the camera, and then you have a little tablet that would go into your cigarette lighter. Once it's in your cigarette lighter, go ahead and turn on your running lights, and then your running lights will then feed the camera through the tablet up in your truck. Coming to your water heater, have your cap here, which goes on this little spout. You're gonna want it really tight. I'm just gonna kind of set it on there, just so you know what it looks like. Once that's all plugged up and nice and tight, go on the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of the faucet. It'll then start to sputter, but that's just all the air getting pushed out of your tank. Once it's full, you'll have a steady flow on the inside of your camper on the hot side of the faucet. And then you're able to use your water heater. Water does get stagnant after a little while, so go ahead and empty it. Release the pressure with this pressure release valve. You'll hear it hiss. Once it's done hissing, that means you're good to go to take this off and it won't shoot out at you. Go ahead, take this off, and then all the water will then start to come out of that spout. Little outside kitchen here. You have your fridge, sink. So a green nozzle on your wheels indicate that your tires are filled with nitrogen rather than air. You are able to fill it with regular air. It doesn't inflate or deflate with the temperature change. This is going to be your furnace exhaust, so this does get very hot. If you have any little kids or someone who may not know in the area, just let them know don't touch this because they will get burned. Right in here is your fresh tank. Go ahead and fill this up before any vacation where you're not going to have running water. So let's say you're going out to the middle of nowhere. Right before, go ahead and fill this up. It's just a big tank inside your camper. You can tell how full it's getting by the little reader on the inside, which I will get to and show you. But go ahead and fill this up before you leave. Once you're out there, turn on your water pump, and then all the water that you put in here before you left, it'll start to cycle through your systems and give you running water. For an outside TV, we have a mount, cable satellite into the input and 110 outlets. And for that fresh tank, you also have a drain there and there. So all you do is flip this straight and then it'll start to drain. For your stairs, you want to make sure your door is completely open. Go ahead, lift that up and make sure a little white tab is behind the frame so it doesn't move. Adjust your leg sizes with this. You push this down and you can move this up or down. To take it out, go ahead and pull the blue tab, grab the handle and pull down. You want to make sure this is flush with the metal piece here, because if you do go to shut your door and it's not, it'll rip off the little furry piece along with the rubber seal behind it. Right on top of your awning, on the corner, you have a little black tab. Go ahead, peel that off, and that will give you a place to insert a tool for a manual override, just in case if this ever electrically goes out. Coming to the inside of the camper, you have your electronic panel. So you have your battery reader, fresh tank, which is what I was telling you about earlier right here, black tank, along with the gray. On and off switches here for the outside lights and inside lights. I'll show you those outside ones real quick. Then you have your water pump, so when you do fill up your fresh tank, this is what you'll turn on. Then you have a gas and electric element to your water heater. Flip those on, start to heat up your tank, but make sure there is water in it. It's plugged up and all pressurized. Awning, I'll run this out for you. You know you'll be fully extended when the flap comes down and you can start to see the bar behind it. I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. There's the flap and there's the bar. To pitch it for the rain, all you do, grab here, pull down to adjust pitch, pull it, and then it'll start to leak off of that side. Before you reel it in, just go ahead, push it back up, and reel it back in. You don't want to keep extending it because it will actually roll up the opposite way and reel in and end up breaking. Here's the slide moving in. I know you're fully in. Once you hear that gear grinding noise, you know you're fully extended. Moving down to your carbon monoxide detector. This little green light indicates that it's on. And as a safety feature, this is always on, even if you're unplugged from the shore power and everything. So that means this little green light will kill your battery. So what you're gonna need to do is, if you're gonna leave your camper for about 3 to 4 days, just go ahead and unplug the negative end off of your battery, because then this will finally die. Coming into your bedroom, it's gonna be a little wood piece underneath. Lift up on that, and your bed will then come up. You can access your storage underneath. When you drop it down, you can kind of see a little space there. Go ahead, push your mattress right back. Mount for a TV, satellite cable, and 110 outlets here. If you do go for a solar charge controller, you can choose between your amp and volts and battery type, and this just tells you how full it is, or how full it is reading your battery. Moving over, you have keys for your main doors and an outside shower. Light switch, and then to turn these on, you press, turn to a little flame symbol. You'll hear the gas start to go through, and just go ahead and light it with the sparker here. You'll see that on the sparker, on the igniter, it has arrows pointing this way. If you turn it the opposite way, it will actually snap off. So you want to turn to the right, so it'll actually ignite. Same goes for all three. And for the oven, press, turn to the little flame symbol, and then go ahead and spark it. Where you're gonna wanna look is right in the back. I'll kind of light it a couple times so you know where to look. You can see it right there. That's not going to light right away, so don't be worried if it doesn't light. I do recommend purging them, so just turn the gas on with the flames. The gas will then start to go through the system, and then that means, you know, like I said, the gas is purging through the system, which makes this easier to light, but it still won't light right away, so don't be nervous. Moving up to your refrigerator. 5 is going to be the coldest it does get. You can go down. There we go. 1's just going to be like cold, and then colder, and this is going to be coldest. This indicates that you're doing the fridge portion. That's the freezer portion. And then night mode, it just makes your fridge quieter for at night. Just underneath your oven, you have the fuse box. So you have your breakers and fuses in here. It's going to be labeled just like a house, and then these, I do recommend bringing extra fuses, just in case. I'd rather just be safe than sorry. You can pick them up at any auto parts stores, like an AutoZone, for example. Tap to turn on the radio. Zone 1, inside speakers, which you can turn off. Zone 2, outside speakers, which you can turn off. Or just meet them both by tapping up there once. Bluetooth here, AM, FM, aux, HDMI, and USB here. Press and play, and then also skip channels. You can also skip channels this way. And then volume. Tap to do the equalizer. And you can tap through it. Oh, went too far. And then hold, just to stand by, and it'll turn off. For the lights, you can also toggle them on and off and section them off with a little press right in the middle. So let's say you want the kids asleep but you still want lights on, press that off, press that one off, and then you can go ahead and shut your shades. Coming to the thermostat, press to turn on. Fan, cool, and furnace. And once again, temperature up and down here. Going into the bathroom, first thing, let's talk about the fan. You have to pull down before you go ahead and move it. And then turn on, flip the switch right around the corner. And for the toilet, it's just foot flush right in front. Go ahead, press that down. You are going to need toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper will help break down so it won't clog your lines, and then the solution will help break down solids and smells to also protect your lines and your tanks. And then for the jackknife, just grab underneath, lift up, kind of pull out, it'll fold like that, and go ahead, lift it back up, give it a little bit of pressure going in, and it'll fold right back. For your AC, once it's on, you can open it up just for a dump right out here. But if you want it traveling to the vents in your camper, just go ahead and close it right up, and then it'll start to flow through the ducts.